The ring is silent, but the air is heavy with anticipation. A former heavyweight king, his fists forged in Olympic gold and world title reigns, stares across at a man who wasn't even a boxer a decade ago. Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul. A fight that sounds like a fever dream, yet the whispers are growing louder, the odds tightening. This isn't just a boxing match. It's a collision of worlds, a spectacle that could shake the sport to its core. Eddie Hearn, the mastermind behind some of boxing's biggest nights, sat down for an hour-long meeting on July 30th with Nikisa Badarian, the sharp strategist steering Jake Paul's unlikely rise. Hearn emerged from that call with a fire in his voice, telling the Ring magazine that this fight, this unthinkable clash, is very real. A 50-50 shot at happening. Not a rumor, not a stunt, but a tangible possibility that could redefine what a blockbuster fight looks like. Jake Paul, the YouTuber turned fighter, believes he can stand toe-to-toe with one of the most devastating punchers of the modern era. And Anthony Joshua, a man who's tasted both glory and defeat, is starting to see the dollar signs in the global stage this fight could command. Picture the scene. A packed stadium, maybe Wembley, maybe Las Vegas, the crowd split between die-hard boxing purists and a new generation of fans drawn by Paul's unrelenting charisma. The lights dim, the walkouts begin, and the world holds its breath. Anthony Joshua, 35 years old, 6'6", a chiseled heavyweight with 25 knockouts and 28 wins, strides to the ring with the weight of a legacy on his shoulders. Across from him, Jake Paul, 28, a former Disney star who's traded scripts for sparring, his 12-1 record punctuated by 7 knockouts, including a stunning win over Mike Tyson in November. This isn't just a fight, it's a cultural earthquake. But how did we get here? Let's rewind. Joshua's last dance in the ring was a brutal one. September, under the bright lights, he faced Daniel Dubois, a fellow Brit with dynamite in his fists. It was supposed to be AJ's redemption, a chance to reclaim heavyweight gold after losses to Alexander Usyk. Instead, Dubois delivered a knockout that echoed through the boxing world, leaving Joshua face down on the canvas, his dreams of a third title reign shattered. Now, recovering from elbow surgery in the spring, Joshua is at a crossroads. Does he chase another shot at the belts, or does he embrace a fight that could dwarf every purse he's ever earned? Meanwhile, Jake Paul's journey is nothing short of surreal. Once known for viral pranks and internet beefs, he's now a legitimate force in the ring. His win over Mike Tyson, a living legend at 58, was a polarizing spectacle. Critics called it a circus, but the numbers don't lie. Millions tuned in, and Paul walked away with a unanimous decision. Then, in June, he outpointed Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., a former world champion, proving he could hang with seasoned pros. 12 fights, 12 wins, 1 loss to Tommy Fury in 2023, and a confidence that borders on reckless. Jake Paul doesn't just want to fight Joshua, he believes he can win. If you're shaking your head right now, you're not alone. Ben Davison, Joshua's trainer, isn't sold on the idea. He told Boxing Scene the matchup feels wrong, dangerous even. He asked, how can people even talk about that? His voice thick with concern. Where's the safety aspect in boxing? Davison knows the risks. Joshua's power isn't just a stat line. It's a force that's ended fights in seconds. Paul, despite his progress, is a cruiserweight stepping up to face a heavyweight titan. One clean shot from AJ could turn the lights out. But danger is part of the draw. Hearn likened it to watching a David Blaine stunt, except this isn't an illusion, it's a 12-round war. Hearn said this is about the fear factor. You're in there with one of the biggest punchers of all time, and it isn't a game. Yet for every purist scoffing at the idea, there's a fan base hungry to see Jake Paul humbled or, against all odds, triumphant. And if you're one of those fans, hit that subscribe button to stay locked into the wildest stories in combat sports. This fight, if it happens, could be the biggest boxing has ever seen, not just in the ring, but across the globe where social media and streaming platforms amplify every jab, every taunt, every knockout. Let's talk numbers, because they tell a story of their own. Joshua's career earnings are staggering, hundreds of millions from fights against Klitschko, Reyes, Usyk, and others. But a fight with Paul? Hearn calls it probably the biggest fight that could ever happen anywhere. We're talking purses that could rival Mayweather-Pacquiao, fueled by a global audience spanning boxing diehards and casual viewers drawn to Paul's polarizing persona. Joshua, a man who understands the commercial game, knows this. He's not just a fighter, he's a brand, a businessman who's built an empire.
and this fight could be his biggest payday yet. But it's not just about money. For Joshua, it's about legacy. At 35, with 4 losses on his record, he's still chasing that third world title. A win over Paul might not earn him a belt, but it would cement his name in a new kind of history, one where traditional boxing collides with the modern spectacle. For Paul, it's about proving he's more than a gimmick. His team, led by Badarian, isn't blind to the risks. Hearn noted Badarian's honesty during their call, admitting the fight is a gamble, but Jake's confidence is unshakable. He studied Joshua's fights, dissected his power, his footwork, his vulnerabilities exposed by Dubois and Usyk. He believes he can exploit them. Let's not sugarcoat it. This is a mismatch on paper. Joshua's resume reads like a boxing encyclopedia. Olympic gold in 2012, 2-time world heavyweight champion, victories over Wladimir Klitschko, Dillian White, and Alexander Povetkin. His losses to Reyes, Usyk, and Dubois came against elite competition. Paul's record, while impressive for a newcomer, is built on retired legends, faded champions, and one close loss to a reality TV star's brother. Hearn called it a sentiment echoed by purists who see this as a step too far for boxing's integrity. But boxing has never been just about purity. It's about stories, rivalries, and moments that transcend the sport. Think back to the early days of Muhammad Ali, when he was Cassius Clay, dismissed as a loudmouth with no chance against Sonny Liston. Or Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor, a fight that purists hated, but drew 4.3 million pay-per-view buys. Joshua versus Paul fits that mold, a clash of eras, of cultures, of expectations. It's not about who's the better boxer, it's about who can seize the moment. Paul's built his career on defying odds, turning skeptics into believers one knockout at a time. Joshua, meanwhile, is a man fighting to reclaim his throne, to prove he's still the king of the heavyweights. The logistics are another hurdle. Paul, naturally a cruiserweight, would need to bulk up to heavyweight, a move that could sap his speed but add intrigue. Hearn noted there wouldn't be a huge size difference. Joshua's a lean 250 pounds, Paul could hit the scales around 220, but weight is just a number when fists are flying. Joshua's right hand can crack skulls. Paul's got a sneaky counter that's dropped bigger men. The X factor is Paul's showmanship, his ability to get under an opponent's skin, to turn a fight into a psychological war. Joshua has been trash-talked before, by Fury, by Dubois, but Paul's brand of chaos is different. It's relentless, calculated, designed to go viral. Imagine the build-up. Press conferences where Paul's brashness means Joshua's quiet intensity. Social media exploding with memes, predictions, and hot takes. The boxing world would be divided, purists screaming for tradition, new fans chanting for the upset. And in the middle of it all, 2 men preparing for a fight that could change their lives. For Joshua, it's a chance to silence a generation that doubts him. For Paul, it's the ultimate test, a shot at immortality against a giant of the sport. But there's a shadow over this fight, a question that lingers. Is it too dangerous? Davison's words ring true. Boxing isn't a game, and Joshua's power is no joke. Paul's taken punches before, but never from someone like AJ, whose knockouts are the stuff of highlight reels. Hearn himself admitted the stakes. This is like tuning in to watch David Blaine, but much more dangerous and much more real. The sanctioning bodies would need to sign off, and that's no guarantee. Commissions, promoters, and trainers would all weigh the risks against the rewards. Yet the allure is undeniable. This fight wouldn't just be for boxing fans, it would be for the world. A clash that transcends sport, blending the raw violence of the ring with the spectacle of modern entertainment. Joshua, the warrior seeking redemption. Paul, the outsider chasing history. Their paths may yet cross, and if they do, the world will be watching. 2 men, 1 ring, and a story that could echo for generations.